Michael Ware. Michael, so as we heard from Donald Trump a little earlier this hour, he is digging in, but as you would expect him to.
Yeah, well, he claims that the medical or economic operation is over and the patient is starting to heal. He predicts that the stock market is gonna boom, despite all evidence to the contrary. Because the great fear that economists, both inside the administration and outside and elsewhere, have is that we may be charging to a thing called stagflation, something we haven't seen since the 70s, where the economy stagnates, yet prices just go up. And we're already starting to see just a little bit of that. There's been some job layoffs in some major industries today and yesterday. Consumer confidence is absolutely plunging. And what we've learned is that these are not reciprocal tariffs. These are trade deficit tariffs. So it's not like I put a 10% tariff on you, you put a 10% tariff on me. They're using some bizarre formula where they figure out that an impoverished country in Africa like Lesotho exports $228 million to America, but is so poor it can only buy $7.3 million from America. And take a wild guess what that $200 million they're exporting is diamonds for the rich and the wealthy here. Let's not forget, President Trump says he's trying to defend the world's largest economy with the strongest GDP on the planet and GDP per capita of $90,000 per person versus, say, somewhere like China where it's $14,000 per person. So, there's a trade war. It's going to lead to a trust deficit. It's going to hurt. And the downstream effects politically could most hurt the Trump MAGA base, the guys growing soybeans, the auto workers. Their medical care is being shut off. So, mate, this has got a long way to go.
Yeah, it does have a long way to go. I mean, my from a market perspective anyway, I have an inkling that things will, in the long run, will be okay because America always wins when it comes to the markets anyway. But on the question of support, and you raise the MAGA base there, which is a good one, how much support does he have when it comes to Republicans?
Right, well, right now they're being quiet. So you would say they're in lockstep. But there is a push by 2 Republican senators because technically it's Congress that's supposed to have the power over curtailing the president's power to exercise tariffs. The presidential power over tariffs is meant for wartime or to protect national security industries, neither of which really applies here. So Republicans are staying quiet. Look, the Republican Party are a whipped lot. They're too scared to step out of the MAGA umbrella. So they're going to stay quiet. But it's going to be the midterms in 2 years because potentially some of those most affected by these tariffs here in America will be Republican voters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they're just being told, wait it out, it's all going to bounce back. Let's see. Because none of the experts think so.
No, I mean, I think it will bounce back, but it's not going to be quick. It'll take a while.